Welcome to Moving to Maryland. Today we're going to talk about a really cool neighborhood in Baltimore City. I'm here with Kurt, Nick, and Megan. Hey, guys.
Hey. Morning.
Hey.
Kurt, now you've lived right next to Hampden for many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would consider myself the Hampdenite, even though I technically live in Woodbury, which is right next door to it. I am a fan. I've been there for a long time and have no plans to move anytime soon. And there's a couple key things that are just really, really basic things I take for granted every day. One is it is right in the middle of the city, so it is super convenient to everything. I am 2 minutes from 83, so that puts me in the Inner Harbor in 20 minutes, or it puts me in Hunt Valley in 20 minutes. My wife and I are kind of quasi-boring, and I have a grocery store envy in Hunt Valley, so we go to Wegmans, we go to Charles Village, we go to different restaurants, different grocery stores to get things in our regular life. There's nearby the Rotunda, great grocery store, Mom's, great carry out there. And that's 2 minutes from my house. Post office is 2 minutes from the house. It's not nearly as fun, but in Remington, there's a drop-off center for recyclables and unwanted things. So, but that's at 2 minutes. I could literally never leave Hampden and have everything I want for the rest of my life. Oh, and Johns Hopkins.
And that's our podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
I think that's good.
But the real question we're wondering is, do you have an annual membership to the zoo, which you're about a minute away from, right?
Oh my goodness, no, I do not have it. Which I like the zoo, but the only zoo question. So we live right up against Druid Hill Park, which is almost 1,000 acres, and it's super super fun being at my back. I mean, it's literally steps away. I walk there very often. There was a time, it's been many years ago. This is how close we are to the zoo. I was walking my dog. It was a cold, brisk night, and it was super super quiet. And I'm not even joking, not even kidding. I heard an elephant.
No way.
Do a trumpet.
Oh my God.
And it's the zoo isn't really that close to Woodbury. It's on the other side of Woodbury, of the park, but nevertheless, it was super, super cool. It's great having access to that open green space. But there's other green space that isn't, it's a little bit more like we were talking about Roosevelt Park, which is right there, right off the avenue. A lot of sports. There's right across the school there, Robert Poole School, forgive me. That little block is actually super, super neat, and it's kind of tells a little bit about the eclectic character of Hampden, in my opinion. There's actually a Mennonite church right in Hampden. Most people don't know it. You'll see the folks walking through that, but that's a part of the fabric that makes Hampden, to me, fun and eclectic.
So you live in Woodbury, which is right next to Hampden, and then you have Medfield, new school, elementary school up in Medfield.
Yep.
They all sometimes get lopped together as like in that same general area. And,
right.
we talk about, when you live in somewhere like Hampden, you also have all the amenities. You had mentioned Remington and some of these other places, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're close to, again, Charles Village. You're 10 minutes or not even to downtown. And then again, like you said, close access to 83. So you get to Towson, Hunt Valley, and everything over there.
The Rotunda, like you mentioned. Matter of fact, I think you did the whole podcast in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I did miss and that we're all missing a little bit, it's a small thing, but it's a little story. Years ago, I was representing a buyer who was relocating from Brooklyn, New York, and they were coming to Hopkins for employment at the university, and they wanted to move to Hampden because it reminded them most of Brooklyn. So that was quite a compliment for Hampden that a Brooklynite thought that Hampden was a cool enough, fun, eclectic neighborhood to move to. So
I think I think that like sums up Hampden. Like when people are looking for artistic, like indie vibes, just like very different than
eclectic.
Yes,
it's
like
cultural.
that is
It's a cultural neighborhood. I mean, from the avenue with all its shops and great restaurants to just kind of the culture of the people that live
destination.
There. It's a destination. Yeah.
My favorite are like all the antique shops over there too. My God, I'm such a vintage person.
and walkable.
Yeah.
I mean, you go there for, you could go there for a happy hour, go have a nice dinner somewhere, and then go after dinner drinks and go see some live music.
Mm-hmm. You have everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we do, my wife and I aren't total recluses. No, but when we go out in Hampden with people, we'll just say, hey, let's come to our house and we'll figure it out because there's so many options. And the avenue isn't this long journey. It's maybe 200 yards end to end, give or take, maybe a little bit more than that. But, on one end you could start at Golden West, have a great casual meal there, go across the street for the Bluebird, have a really fancy cocktail,
Yep.
meander through the shops.
Yep.
As you
And-
get down on the other end is the Charmery. To me,
Yep.
I love ice cream, so I love that ice cream
it's so
shop.
good.
Yeah, so you brought up a great point. So it's a great central location. You can work in a lot of different directions and have Hampden be like right, in the center of everything of your life, right?
Yeah.
And so you have Johns Hopkins University right next to there. Talking about that, which is right next to Wyman Park, one of my favorite parks in the city. What are some other green spaces?
Well, like Kurt mentioned, you have Druid Hill, which is really, really close. It's massive. You have
Massive,
the zoo
yeah.
there, and then they also touched on Roosevelt Park too, which is right in the middle of the neighborhood. Which I have friends who use the skate park up there, right off Falls Road, right before 36th Street. So
And Volo Sports does stuff there. So
Yeah,
just sponsor me at this point, Volo.
just send them a DM. Yeah, we'll start getting some sponsor money from them.
Let's talk about real estate.
Yeah.
A lot of real estate options in Hampden.
A lot. I think a lot can vary from mid 200s, like for investors. Like I know a lot of investors are buying there to like flip houses. But then also you have like mid fives, like gorgeous homes. I was just looking at one on Delway. It was like this like compound, just gorgeous house. So it's very like different structures and styles of architecture in there as well.
Yeah, you have different parts of Hampden. You have the part that's down the hill towards Woodbury, and then you have the more central Hampden. How would you describe the options of Hampden real estate, Kurt?
So on one end of the spectrum, so I was a history major in college, so I love history. There are these old original stone houses. There's a little part of Hampden greater area called Stone Hill. There are actually some of these stone homes in Woodbury right next to. There's all these old warehouses that were back from the 1800s that did all different types of industries. In particular, they call it cotton duck. That was what they made the sailcloth out of, and that was a big thing. Also in Clipper Mill, where I live, when you look at the Capitol, the dome, I forget what building it was, not the White House, but the Capitol. But anyway, it's a circular, and there's these pillars. They're metal cast iron pillars that were poured and made in Clipper Mill.
Wow.
Which is really, really cool. So there's that history, but then there's these stone houses sprinkled around down in Woodbury, which is for the workers, these little houses. And then just through the years, it's always been kind of a blue-collar neighborhood. So there's not going to be a lot of whole extravagantly built homes. I'll pick one like Bolton Hill or Mount Vernon. It's not going to have parquet floors, but these are some really fun, unique, older style houses that people are doing some wonderful things with and modernizing them. And it's fantastic. There's just some really, really great options. And there's a lot of renovations, and there's some pocket new construction.
I was going to say a couple of townhomes, new constructions over there in
infill
Berry
projects.
Street and things like that. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of options.
You're not going to see a lot of condos. You might see a little condo building here or there.
If you
but
push more up towards the rotunda, there are definitely
Right.
some. And then on the other side of Wyman Park, which technically you call Charles Village by the university, there's also a lot of condominiums there. So not directly in the neighborhood, but still very close.
Yeah. And so all four of us are real estate agents with the Greatest Moves team of RE/MAX Advantage. So if you're interested in exploring Hampden or Remington or Medfield or any of those areas around Hampden, or for that instance, any neighborhood in the city or around the Beltway, we'd love to help you out. Talk to you soon. See you next episode.